The National Union of Air Transport Employees is the umbrella body that accounts for more than 50% of the workforce in the sector. The Secretary General of the body, Olayinka Abioye, believes foreign airlines operating in Nigeria do take their local employees for granted and insists the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority must do more to police the industry. There's more from him.
The nation's economy has worsened the situation of every Nigerian worker. No matter how good you play your role as a union in promoting the well-being of these workers, what is the determinant factor? Is the economy. The number one place we picketed of recent was Kenya Airways over the management's reluctance to fulfill its own obligation. The law provides for collective discussions between parties, the employer and the employee, as represented by their unions. And the machinery for this kind of social dialogue has been put in place. We started reviewing the terms and conditions of employment of staff in Kenya Airways. Unfortunately, after having agreed to certain benefits that should accrue to the workers, the management decided to stay away from such discussions because the workers there were already preparing for the annual general meeting. You know, for those who belong to their cooperative society, meals have been prepared, people had been invited. And at the point of celebrating or holding their meeting, these fully armed policemen came into the office with their country manager and the Nairobi team. They summoned our members to a meeting and informed them there and then that they are hereby declared redundant and they should all come and sign for their redundancy letters. Tools are not available for people to work. Training and retraining, which NCA is noted for, is no longer there. Forget the lip service we pay to, oh, we are training people. How many people are being trained? In what numbers? And funds are appropriated for these trainings and retrainings, both locally and internationally, every year, approved by the National Assembly. We have situations on our hands where people have served these agencies diligently, retired either at the age of 30, either at the age of 60, or have served for 35 years. They are entitled to something to go on with. They can't get it. They won't get it because there's no money to pay them. So the question now we should ask is, where are all our monies going into? There has been this seeming apprehension, particularly from workers of the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAN, whose means of livelihood has been threatened over time by the pronouncement from the Honorable Minister of State Aviation concerning the concessions of 22 airports owned by the federal government. It was just about a month ago that this apprehension began to lessen. It is not yet over. When eventually at the fourth stakeholders meeting the minister held with us, he unveiled transaction advisors who are to midwife the processes that is being put in place by the federal government over airport concessions, establishment of MRO, establishment of national carrier, and so on and so forth. And at this stakeholders meeting, the workers got to know firsthand that upon the unveiling of the transaction advisors, that the advisors will meet with industrial unions at a much later date while they are working quietly underground. And one heartwarming thing we took away from that meeting was the fact that by the pronouncement made by those who are in charge of concession, most likely they are considering the build, operate, and transfer option, which has been one of the options we recommended or suggested to government earlier. And when it is done, we believe very strongly that it may add more value to the industry. There will be less workforce loss, if there is going to be any,